Hey everybody, happy Monday. It is 4/20, 2020, a lot of 20s in there. And I'm going to hopefully make this short and sweet to the point as you look over the agenda here on the screen. Today is a very important day because when you're watching this, most likely the grades will be released to parents and to you. So you can see what you have been doing, what you have not been doing, what you're missing, and all of that stuff. Obviously, this is going to make things a lot easier for you because no more asking me, hey, what am I missing? What do I need to do for today? You can simply go on to Aries and see exactly what you do not have. Now, with that being said, I have the grades all updated. I just have to press a button tomorrow that releases them to everybody. So I'm going to probably do that around 9 or 10 a.m. or so. So if you're looking at the clock and it's past that, you can pause the video and go check those grades right now. And if it's not quite there, then just give me a few minutes to finalize some things, and those will be posted. I have all the stuff's graded and everything. And let me just explain a little bit about how this works. All right. So the simple version, I'm going to give you the simple version and then the more expanded version. Okay. The simple version is that if you have been doing your work, it's going to be exactly like it was before. Your grade will be going up. For this round, and it's been about 4 weeks now, if you completed the work, I basically gave you full credit. Even on no red ink, even on iReady, anything like that, if it looked like you had at least logged on and done something, I gave you full credit. All right. That will not always be the case going forward, but for this first big update of grades, that's what it's going to be. Because I have lots of students, not lots, but there are some students that have no work entered in at all. So I wanted to reward those that have been. So if you at least attempted one of the assignments, you got full credit for that particular assignment. Obviously, if you didn't do the assignment, I didn't give you any credit for it. Now, with that being said, in case you thought that this was just going to be a vacation, that grades won't really matter, I will give you a chance to fix that. Because if I were to give you the grade that you deserve for the amount of work you've done, some of your grades would go from 90%, 85% to 40% really, really fast. Because some of you have not done a single thing or have done very, very minimal amount of work. Some of you have done almost every assignment, and since you did that, your grade's going to go up extraordinarily fast and high, okay? Because you cannot lose any points so long as you attempted the assignment for this last couple of weeks. Now, I'm feeling generous and nice. It's nothing to do with that. It's really just a way of showing you that this is indeed for real. I'm not going to count any assignment for negative points just yet. Okay, so today is 4/20. I'm going to give you maybe a week or two, and at that point, then I'm going to close the grading on it, and that's when it will start bringing down your grade if you have not done it. Okay, so you may have heard rumors that, oh, whatever you ended with before the epidemic or before the virus, you can't get lower than that. And that's not going to be the case. Okay, if you have access and it's clear that you have access and you are not doing the work, your grade will suffer. And in fact, if you have a grade that is deemed, like, let's say you were a C plus student and you decided that you're not going to do anything during this quarantine, you're not getting just a D or an F. You're actually going to be getting an incomplete. Okay. And you might be thinking, oh, that's not that bad. Incomplete. It's not too bad. Not quite. Okay. A D or an F can be made up in the future. Okay. Summer school, extra work, whatever. All that stuff can be made up. If you get an incomplete, it will stay an incomplete on your permanent record forever. All right. And everybody will know what that means. It basically means you chose not to do any work for about half of a semester in your 7th grade year. Okay. So again, that will affect your GPA. You can't fix that. It can never be changed. D's and F's, at least you can go to summer school, you can do Saturday school, and there's things you can do to adjust those grades, although they're still pretty permanent too. But in theory, an incomplete is actually worse than an F, which would be worse than a D would be worse than, an F would be worse than a D, okay? So keep that in mind. Really, the excuse of, oh, I don't have access to technology is not going to work for you guys anymore, because I know every single one of my students has had Google Classroom since the first week of school. So you not being able to log into Google Classroom one time, or to log on to send me a text or an email, is it's just simply not believable at this point. I know internets have been tricky. I've had issues with my internet as well because so many people are on it. I get that people have lost jobs and can't afford stuff that they did before. I totally understand that. However, a simple text or a communication to the school or a phone call to the school or anything in the last 4 weeks, if you haven't done that, then to me, it's a simple just choosing not to do it. Okay. And I've had plenty of students that have told me they've had issues and we've tried to troubleshoot it. And yeah, those are frustrating. But the students that I'm looking at, that I did this on a piece of paper and I have a big red line through for the last 4 weeks, and I haven't heard from you. And I know that I'm looking at the names right now, and I know these people are on Remind. I know that they know how to get onto Google Classroom. I know they have all the abilities to do all of this stuff. Nothing's new. Your grade's going to suffer. Okay. And I hate to do that, but at this point, that's where we're at. So let me show you one other thing too. It's a document from the teachers here. So this is not just my decision. This is, if you read this, this is from Mrs. Belknap, who is kind of like our representative for all the teachers in the district. And this is the stuff that every teacher is going to be going from. So I wanted to highlight this part here. Okay, so you're getting an A, B, or a C if you're completing the work. Okay, so this is a lesson to, if you're listening to this and you had a D or an F before, if you start completing the work, you're going to be getting at least a C. Okay, that's going to be guaranteed. If you're doing most of the work, you're completing it, you'll be getting at least a C. Even if the work is not C level or B level or A level, you'll still be getting that. Okay, so teachers also have an option to give a pass. I'm not going to worry about that for my class. I'm not going to take that option. Okay, D's and F's become incomplete, which means they did not participate in distance learning. So if you had a D or an F before, it's going to stay that. If you had a C or something like that, and because you didn't do anything, and it goes to a D or an F, though, that's going to become the incomplete. Okay, so here's what I was saying. Incompletes remain incomplete and will not turn into a D or F grade in the future. Students are not expected to complete work at a later date. That means you are getting that. Your GPA is going to suffer because of that for the next 2 years. Okay, so I really hope that nobody has to deal with this part, and that, you know, if you were having a D or an F before, you're still going to be getting a D or an F. But if you had, you know, a borderline and it's been clear that you took the last 2 months of school off, you'll be getting this. Okay. Just making sure I'm still recording. Finally, let's see here. Let's see what I hear. Okay. So this is something that you may have heard from some of your teachers, just because there's a lot of confusion about how we're going to be grading. But it says, you know, positive growth model is not something we'll be pursuing for all students. That means that you cannot earn less than what you had on March 13th. All right, that is not going to happen. If you deserve to earn less, you will be earning less. Okay, we will consider case-by-case basis for students that have disadvantages or access issues. This is something that all of your teachers will discuss, and it is clear that you're having real issues. If you choose not to communicate with us in any way, shape, or form for the next 2 months, you're not going to fit into this category. You must show some sort of attempt. Okay. Now, here's another one. Students who had an A or B prior to distance learning, we can't earn lower than a C. Okay. So to be honest, my A and B students, this doesn't even matter because most of my A and B students are turning in their work. So if you continue to turn in the work, like I said, your grade's going to go up huge. All right. So again, I'm not making this stuff up. It's not my choice to do any of this. This is the entire district and actually the state of California going through this stuff. So this is non-negotiable. Okay. So keep that in mind. Grades will be up to date. You'll see some of that work paying off, or if you haven't been doing anything, you're going to be I'm going to be contacting a bunch of students today and this week about why they haven't been completing the work that has been assigned. All right, so let's go ahead and get started for this week. We're going to start with our DLP number 4 and our reading log number 4 as well. So I'll go ahead and put the DLP up here for you. You can go ahead and pause the video and copy that. And again, guys, don't forget, I have 2 grades for you by the end of the semester, okay? I have you for literature and I have you for English, okay? So I have to put stuff into your literature grade, and it's very difficult to do since we are apart. So the DLPs and the reading logs and stuff like that have to go. You have to do it. Otherwise, that class can suffer. I have some students that have been doing the Amplify work and the No Red Ink work, but have not been doing DLP and reading log work for whatever reason. If that means that you can't upload it, if that means that you are being lazy, it is what it is. But you gotta find a way. Okay, taking a picture and sending it to me on Remind, even I don't care how you do it. Just find a way to do it. Okay, so I know. So here's your DLP. Let's go ahead and make the corrections now after you've paused, copied them down, and made the corrections yourself. Okay, so the Stegosaurus was a giant green lizard-like animal that had large plates on its body to help warm him up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and capitalize the, and we're going to capitalize the S in Stegosaurus. You'll need to capitalize that. Was a giant green. Okay, so we want to make sure this is clear that this is 2 adjectives. Giant green lizard-like animal. So this is a clue that you need another comma here. And a lizard-like animal actually needs to be hyphened there. That had large plates on its body. That doesn't make any sense. It should be its body to help warm him up. Okay, I wouldn't put him. I would put warm them up or warm themselves up. And a period at the end. Okay. 2, them also had spikes on its tail so that he could defend him from Rex. Okay, so them is not how we ever start out a sentence. We want to always use the word they if we're going to start out a sentence like that. They also had spikes on their tail. Okay, not its tail, because their matches they. And this is the incorrect tail. Tail is spelled T-A-I-L. So that they, not he, because you've changed your pronoun, could defend themselves from T-Rex. Okay, and T-Rex needs to be capitalized, and actually hyphenated as well. And a period was already there. Oops, this should be a period. All right, so there you go. This week's DLP is going to be started there, and then this week's reading log is going to be a subjective summary. So read your 20 pages and give opinions on what you are reading. All right, again, these things, man, I'm telling you, just get them done so I can give you the points. I really want to get your grades to be high. I mean, honestly, that's my main goal, is that if you're doing stuff for my class each day, I want to give you a reward by having a high grade. That's honestly as simple as I can make it. If you are trying your best during this very difficult time, I want to reward you. And if you're not putting forth any effort, there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to reward students that are not putting forth any sort of effort whatsoever. So I think that's just basic stuff. Okay. Today's Amplify lesson is subunit 2, lesson 4. So I'll go ahead and shoot you over there, how I get over there. Okay, so when you get to poetry and Poe, click on subunit 2, and we are on lesson 4. Okay, I know we've been skipping around a little bit. A lot of this actually requires you to be in class working with other students, and that's just obviously not possible. So today's unit is actually going to be pretty short, but it's also fascinating, and I want you to make sure you're doing it. To be honest, I was very happy with Amplify. A lot of students that actually didn't do much. For some, the things that they did do were actually on Amplify. So please get this done. I know a lot of you have been having issues with Amplify. Keep communicating with me if you are. If you are having trouble, the best things I can recommend for you are to do it on a desktop or some other device besides your iPad, because a lot of the times the things not loading will be because of your iPad. If you do it on your desktop, you should be fine. Honestly, if you have internet, you should be fine. If you are only able to access an iPad, you have no other device to try it on, then what I would recommend doing is making sure you are not on private browser. And if you can, use Google Chrome. And if it's still not working there, then and you have no other access, you need to talk to me so we can work out a help desk with the district. At this point, you should have a lot shorter wait time if you are having issues. Honestly, you should be able to find a way around it somehow. If the biggest issue that we've seen is that the story isn't popping up, but for Edgar Allan Poe, remember, all you have to do is go to Google and then type in the story that you're reading, and you'll be able to find a PDF of it in 2 seconds. Okay. Literally, all of these are all PDFs that you can use, and all of our stories will be very easily found on Google. So, and if most of the time everything else works on Amplify. So there you go. Okay. Vocab. Hey, I can't make this any easier, guys. I'm literally, if you signed on to your vocab within the last 4 weeks, I gave you full credit. And you tried it for even a few minutes, I gave you full credit. Okay, I can't keep doing that, but honestly, this is easy. It's 5 minutes. I'm not even worried about how much you're getting right. I just want to see that you're actually going in there and doing that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and check that in a couple of weeks as well to give you full points. Again, all I need you to do is go into your vocab, and if it's not working, then and give me something that's with vocab. All right, we're actually going to skip cards 2, 3, and 4. These are, again, stuff that we needed to do with your class. The only thing I really need you to do beyond that today is the solo. And to me, the solo is fascinating because one of the biggest things about The Telltale Heart, which pause the video right now. If you have not read The Telltale Heart, pause it and go read it. I know some of you are probably, if you've gotten this far in the video, you've probably already read it. If you have not, though, do that. Or if you forgot what it was about, go read it. It's not very long, and you need to know. But the big theme that Edgar Allan Poe is exploring in The Telltale Heart is this idea of insanity. Okay, insanity or crazy. How do you know if you're crazy? There's a big famous expression, right? If you think you're crazy, then you're not. If you don't think you're crazy, then you are. That's kind of the basic definition of insanity. And so that he fits that to a very good T, because he constantly, the narrator is telling you how he is not insane, right? He's telling you, I'm not mad, I'm not crazy. And that is usually a big sign that you are indeed crazy, because most of us think we are weird and strange and different than everybody else. And that, in fact, makes us normal. It's the time where we think we're normal and we think we're perfect and everything is great that, in fact, we probably are not. Okay, so it's a huge theme. It's a very difficult one to gather, especially at a young age like you guys, but it's a brilliant thing to explore for Edgar Allan Poe. So here is the M. Naughton rule, which you'll read, and then it's very short, but there is some vocab words in there you're going to need to click on to understand a little bit more, and then probably have to read that a few times, but it's short, so you should be able to. And then you have a few questions and boxes to answer on your own. Okay, so that's it for today. Not long at all. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and start up lesson 5. It'll be a little bit more in depth, but I wanted this is just kind of where we're at today. This is, if we were in class, we would have a long discussion on the solo because I think it's fascinating and we'd be able to do some storyboard sharing with each other. So take advantage of that short time. Look at your grades and get them fixed. Okay. If you turn in the work, I will still give you credit. Okay. I definitely will still give you credit if you turn in the work, full credit. It won't even be considered late. All right. You just got to show me that you're trying your best through all this. This really is what the pandemic is going to be when it comes to education. Were you able to put forth effort? Okay. Because everybody knows this is difficult. Everybody knows that it's not the same as if we were in a classroom. Teachers know that, principals know that, everybody knows that, but that doesn't mean that your effort has to be smaller or less than it was when you were in the classroom. Okay, your effort still needs to be there. Your ability to communicate, your ability to work on your own independently and not have somebody telling you to get started and do it. That's what we're trying to get you to do. Because if we all ignore the next couple of months and then you add summer onto that, I promise you, you're going to start 8th grade behind. And then 8th grade is going to be hard and you're going to fall behind again. And then, honestly, high school, you need to hit the ground running in 9th grade. If you don't, I know this may be too far in the future for some of you, but please listen. If you do not start high school well, it's very difficult to catch up. Okay. You don't start out with C's and D's and then finish and then get to go to Stanford or UCLA or wherever you want to go, not even Cal State. Okay. You need to start earning A's and B's from day one, 9th grade. And if you are well behind because of 7th and 8th grade, good luck because it's going to be hard. Okay. I don't know how else to say that besides what I'm saying. All right. I'll be available all day tomorrow. I'm going to keep working on grades and making sure that they're all up to date. I'm sure when I post them, I'm going to have lots of people telling me that they did stuff. And to be honest, I got to go back through emails and double check and see if people actually assigned emails to me for some of the stuff, which I know they did. So I got to kind of be available all day. Tomorrow's going to be a big day for me of work. So make sure you're there, getting your stuff done. Today's an easy day. That's going to do it for me. Remember, stay safe, do work, and I will see you tomorrow on Tuesday. Mr. Sanchez signing off.